Elias Ward thought he came to the alien market for spare engine parts. He was only a human cargo mechanic trying to keep his old freight ship alive. He had no money to waste, no plans to play hero,
50 credits,
and no reason
firm.
to stop in the lower bazaar longer than needed. Then he saw her. At the far end of the market, after the loud traders had moved on, one auction platform still held a single figure under cold lights. She was not standing anymore. She was sitting on the metal floor, knees pulled close, wrapped only in torn market cloth, abandoned like broken cargo.
Finest textiles in the city, madam.
Some buyers laughed.
We have the best prices
Some traders
today.
shook their heads.
Come have a
Some
look.
simply walked past. The sign above her flickered with one cruel word.
No one wants you.
Unwanted.
You are defective and
Elias
worthless.
slowed down. She was clearly not human. Her skin was pale silver blue.
Why is she still there?
Her eyes were bright silver
one
even
would
through
buy her.
exhaustion. Her face was long and elegant in a non-human way, with subtle temple ridges. She looked weak,
Hey,
cold,
you!
and completely
Stop
alone.
right there! Get
Then
off
one
the
child
stage
nearby
now!
pointed at her and asked why nobody wanted her. The trader answered with a careless shrug. Defective. Not worth feeding. That was the moment Elias stopped walking. He stepped off the main path, took off his heavy work coat, and gently placed it around her shoulders. The whole market went quiet for 1 second. The alien woman
Get
looked
out of
up
the
at him
way
in
unless
shock
you
as
are
if
buying
kindness was
something,
more
old
frightening
man.
than cruelty. Elias said only
I do
one
not
thing.
have all day.
She's not cargo. The trader
Elias.
laughed and told him to move on if he was not buying.
Please,
But Elias kept
don't
standing there.
leave me.
Then the
Stay
alien
with
woman
me.
whispered in weak, broken trade speech,
You're safe now.
"Please,
Can you
don't
tell
leave
me your
me
name?
here." That was when Elias understood. He had not found a strange woman in a cruel
Unsold
market.
asset
He had
transferred
found
to
a person
disposal
the whole station
in
had
2
agreed
minutes.
not to see. He was still deciding what to do when market sirens suddenly began to pulse red.
What exactly
A security
does
alert
disposal
flashed
mean?
across the auction wall.
Unsold stock
Unsold
costs
asset
money.
transfer
Simple
to
as that.
disposal in 2 minutes. Elias looked at the clock. 2 minutes. If he walked away now, she would disappear. And deep inside the market shadows, someone was already
What
watching
clears
him.
her from the auction list?
The full
Elias
amount on the
Ward
slate.
came to the lower
then
alien
she
market for
is
engine
yours.
parts, not trouble. His old freight ship, the Harbor Light, needed a
The
coolant
transfer is
relay and 2
complete.
clean
She
fuel
is clear.
valves.
All
Elias
right,
had
we
little
need to
money
move
and even
now.
less patience.
Let us go.
The lower bazaar was loud, crowded, and cruel.
Attention!
But it sold cheap
Unauthorized personnel.
And cheap things kept
Surrender
poor ships alive.
immediately.
So he walked past spice stalls, broken machine tables, and rows of contract booths until he reached the auction lane. That was where he saw her. Most of the platforms were empty now. The crowd had already
We
moved
have to
on.
keep moving. Lean
But
on
one
me.
metal stand still held
I'm
a single
trying.
figure under harsh white light. She sat on the cold floor with her knees close to her chest, wrapped only in torn market cloth. Her skin was pale silver blue. Her long white hair hung loose and dirty over her shoulders. Her silver eyes were downcast, not because she was weak, but because she had stopped expecting kindness. Above her, a sign
Don't worry,
flickered.
Asha. The harbor
Unwanted.
light is slow, but
Elias
she's the safest
slowed.
place in the
A
quadrant
trader
right now.
nearby
I
noticed him
trust
looking.
you, Elias.
Don't bother, the trader said. No buyer interest. Defective. Worthless. Elias looked again. She did not look worthless. She looked exhausted, cold,
You are
and
safe
humiliated.
for the moment.
A small station child passed with his mother and asked, "Why is she still there?" The trader laughed. No one would buy her. That answer hit Elias harder than he expected. He stepped up onto the platform, took off his heavy brown work coat, and gently wrapped it around her shoulders. The whole lane seemed to go quiet for a moment. The alien woman looked up in shock. Her silver eyes were wide, frightened, and confused. Elias spoke softly. "You're cold." The trader barked at him to move aside unless he was buying. Elias ignored him. Then the woman whispered in broken trade speech, "Please, don't leave me." Elias asked her name.
My name is Asha.
But she only shook her head weakly, as if even that was
I
unsafe.
am Elias.
A red warning suddenly flashed across the auction wall. Unsold asset transferred to disposal in 2 minutes. Elias's jaw tightened. Disposal? He
If you
asked.
don't mind me asking,
The trader
why were
shrugged.
you in the market?
Unsold
It
stock
reminds
costs
me of
money.
home.
Elias looked
Before
at the
everything
woman, then at the
changed.
clock. 1 minute and 30
The
seconds.
market was
He
punishment.
pulled out his credit slate. "What clears her from your list?" The trader's eyes lit up.
Please, Elias,
Before
you
Elias
have to
could
take
finish
me
the
back to
transfer,
the
he
market. I
noticed
can't
something
stay
worse.
here.
At the
No,
far edge
Asha.
of the lane, an armored
I won't
figure was
do that.
already watching. Not a buyer, a market
I give you my
enforcer.
word, I won't
Someone had
send you
noticed
back.
Elias stopping,
You're safe
and now they were coming. Elias completed
I
the
want to
release
believe
payment
that.
seconds before the enforcer reached the platform. The trader greedily confirmed the transfer and stepped away. Elias did not waste time. He wrapped his coat more securely around the alien woman and helped her stand. She was light, far too light and unsteady on her feet. He guided her away from the auction lane without looking back.
They put
The market
trackers on
noise swallowed them
everything.
quickly.
Everything
but
I
Elias could
touched.
feel eyes following
The market
them.
knows where we are.
They reached Dock
I
Road
can't
12,
breathe.
where the harbor light rested between two cargo barges. It was old, scratched, and unimpressive, but it was clean and quiet. Once inside, Elias locked the hatch and led her to the small washroom and bunk space. "You're safe for the moment," he said. The woman stood in the doorway as if she did not understand the word safe. Elias pulled a folded blanket and a simple spare tunic from a locker, then placed warm water and packaged food on the table. He turned away to give her privacy. After several quiet minutes, she stepped out wearing the loose tunic and wrapped blanket. The clothes
You know
were
these
plain, but they
machines
gave her
well.
something the market had
Enough
not.
to stay poor,
Dignity.
but useful.
She sat slowly near the small table. "My name," she
Who
said
wants you
carefully,
back?
Who wants
"is
you
Asha."
back?
Elias nodded. "I'm Elias."
The ones who sent me
Asha touched
here.
the cup of warm water with both hands,
Before the market,
almost
I was a
reverently.
records
He
keeper.
asked if she was hungry.
I worked
She
for the
nodded
Noble
once and
Trade
ate
Office.
like someone trying to be careful not
It
to take too
required
much.
precision.
Bit by bit, her
Her
breathing
species
eased.
valued strong memory
Elias
and
kept his
records work,
questions simple.
so she managed shipment ledgers,
Why were you
labor
there?
transfers, bond
Asha stared
files,
into
and
the cup
relief
before
schedules.
answering.
What did you
Punishment.
I saw
They
lies.
marked me defective.
Supplies marked
Then no
delivered
one
but
needed to
never
care.
sent. Workers marked
frowned.
freed but still
Defective
sold.
how?
They used these
Her
exact
silver eyes
documents to
dropped.
divert the shipments. The
I
relief
refused.
cargo, the supplies for the poor
Only
sectors.
2
It was
words,
all
but they told
stolen
him
before
enough.
it even reached the port.
She had not failed.
When I questioned the
She had
records, my status
disobeyed.
was stripped. I was labeled unstable
Elias
and
felt
defective,
anger
and then
rise
transferred
quietly
into
in
the
his
market
chest.
system.
You were sold
Asha
because
looked
you knew
around
too
the small
much.
ship room like she expected the
They
walls
made
themselves
truth
to
look
betray her.
worthless.
"Will you send me back?" "No," Elias said immediately. She looked at him, searching his face as if truth had become a strange language. Later, while gathering her discarded market cloth from the floor to throw it away, Elias found a
seam.
tiny metal
Be careful
sliver
when you
stitched
open
into
it.
the hem. A tracker. He
I
held it
think
up
I
in
have
the
it.
light.
I've got the shard.
Asha went pale.
Once the
They put
market
that on
knows you have
everything I
taken me,
touched,
they will
she
never
whispered.
stop. They will
Elias
never
looked toward
stop
the locked
looking.
hatch. If the tracker was still active, then buying her had not
They're
ended
already
the danger.
here. We have
It
to
had
go
only
now,
moved it
or
onto
we
his
lose
ship.
everything.
Elias shut down the
We're
ship
running out of
lights near the front windows and sealed the external transponder. Then he
here.
placed the tracker inside an
know.
old metal parts tin to weaken
The
the
outer
signal
hatch
for a
just
while.
sealed.
Asha watched everything closely. "You know machines well,"
We demand
she
entry
said.
under Station Trade
"I
Authority.
know enough to stay poor
Open
but
this
useful,"
hatch now.
Elias answered. For the first time, something almost like a
Elias,
smile touched her face.
we know you are
They sat
harboring
at the small
marked market
table in the
property.
bunk area,
Surrender the
while the
asset
harbor
now.
light rested silent in the dock shadows. Asha looked stronger now that she had water, warmth, and proper clothing, but fear still lived in every movement. Elias finally asked the question that mattered most. "Who wants you back?" Asha was quiet for a long time. Then she spoke. Before the market, she had worked for a noble trade office as
Open
a
this
records
hatch,
keeper.
human.
Her memory
I
was
know you
unusually
have the
strong,
shard.
and her people
Give
valued
it
that
to
in
me
contracts. She managed
Hide in
shipment
the rear
ledgers,
maintenance crawl
bond
space.
records,
Take
labor
the memory
transfers,
shard with you.
and relief schedules. She said her work let her see what most others only obeyed.
You are trespassing on
And what did you
sovereign
see?
flag territory.
Elias
I
asked.
advise you to stand down and await
Asha's
further
eyes
instruction
hardened.
from your superiors.
Lies,
This
she
vessel
said.
is not yielding.
Food marked sent.
You seem to
never
misunderstand
delivered.
your position
Workers
here.
marked paid.
Let me clarify.
Never freed.
I own
Names
everything
changed.
you see,
People sold through
including
legal paper.
you.
Asha's
Elias
release
leaned
is under
forward.
dispute.
The market was not
I
only
am
cruel,
asking you to
it was
return her to our
organized.
custody
Asha
immediately.
explained that she discovered proof linking relief theft and
I
illegal
am not
trafficking to
opening the
market
ship.
officials. When she questioned it, her status was stripped. She was labeled unstable, defective, and transferred into market disposal inventory. Once marked that way, no one listened to anything she said. They made truth look worthless, she whispered. Elias looked at her differently after that, not as someone he had rescued, as someone dangerous to bad people. Asha then revealed one more secret. Before being taken, she hid a small memory shard inside the seam of her old neck wrap. It contained copied records. Elias quickly searched the bundle of market cloth again and found a thin data shard no bigger than a fingernail. He looked up.
The labor lists are
This
padded.
could expose them.
Look at the missing
Asha
relief
nodded,
logs.
but fear
The
returned at
transfers
once.
confirm it.
They will never
They
stop
diverted
now.
the supplies.
Almost on cue,
Look
a
at the
hard
shell
metallic sound
corporations.
echoed
They
through the outer
diverted
docking
everything
bay.
through these accounts.
Elias
evidence
stood.
is undeniable
Another
now,
sound
Captain.
followed.
We
Boots
finally
on the
have the
access
proof.
ramp outside his ship.
Look at this.
He
The
killed
same
the table light and
authorization
moved to
seal
the
on
hatch
every
monitor.
withdrawal.
That
Two
belongs to
armored
the High
figures were
Council.
outside.
The corruption
Behind them
goes
stood
deeper than
Enforcer
we
Drawl
imagined.
from the market. Asha saw the screen and went still with terror. Drawl hit the hatch panel. "Open under Station Trade Authority," he called. "You are harboring marked
What
market
humans
property."
do when saying no becomes
Elias
dangerous.
turned slowly toward Asha. The problem
Humans
was no
say
longer
it
only
louder.
hers. It was standing at his door. The harbor light stayed silent. Outside, Enforcer Drawl hit the hatch panel again and repeated the order. Elias spoke in a low voice.
They found us.
"Asha,
The drones are
hide in
here.
the rear maintenance
I
crawl
see
space.
them. We
Take
have
the
to
shard."
move now.
She did not argue. Fear made her fast. In seconds, she
prefect is
disappeared
part of
behind
the
a narrow
network.
service wall near the engine room. Elias sealed the panel
Then the
and walked to
public
the hatch
system
with
cannot
calm he
be
did not
trusted
fully
at
feel.
all.
He opened only the speaker. "What do you want?" Drawl's cold voice answered. "Return the marked female. Her release is under dispute." Elias leaned against the inner wall. Funny. Payment cleared. Overseer Kor stepped into view behind the Enforcer. He wore polished market armor and a smile with no warmth in it. "Human," Kor said. "You purchased disposal access, not independent liberty. Bring her out and the misunderstanding ends." Elias understood the threat inside that soft voice. He also understood something else. They were afraid of what Asha knew. "I'm not opening my ship," he said. Kor's smile vanished. The next hour became a quiet siege. Elias moved the harbor light onto emergency internal power, blocked remote access, and used old freight tricks to jam the dock latch. Meanwhile, in the engine crawl space, Asha used a portable reader to open the memory shard. When Drawl and the others finally pulled back, Elias joined her. The shard contained shipment ledgers, identity lists, false transfers, and coded entries tied to market accounts. One set of records linked directly to station relief supplies that had vanished from refugee sectors.
It's
Elias
locked.
stared at the screen.
They already have control.
"This is bigger than one market."
This is worse than we
Asha
feared.
nodded. "Always bigger." Then she pointed at a repeating authorization seal
We
in
don't
the
need
data.
a closed court.
A public
We need
official
open
seal.
witnesses.
Not just traders, not just enforcers. Someone from
The
station
main doors
authority
are locked
was
down.
involved.
We have to use the public
Elias
freight
sat
exchange.
back against the
Fine,
bulkhead.
but we need to move fast
Running
before
would
they
only
notice.
delay things. If he left now, they
This
would
way.
chase him. If he
Into the
surrendered
tunnel.
Asha,
Move.
they would erase her. If he kept the evidence quiet, others would stay trapped. "What do humans do?" Asha asked softly. "When saying no becomes dangerous." Elias looked at the shard in his hand.
Go!
"We
Get
say
in!
it louder."
Quickly!
Just then, a priority
Hold on
message
tight,
came
we're
through on his
dropping.
console. It carried a formal seal from a station prefect inviting Elias Ward to present himself for legal review concerning market property violation. Asha saw the seal and went pale. "That name," she whispered. "He is one of them." The official was not sending guards. He was coming personally. Elias knew the harbor light would not
can't
remain
get it
safe
open.
for long. If the station prefect was involved, the docks would be watched.
Elias, forget
Official
it.
channels
We're
were
out of time.
compromised.
Just
That
a few
meant
more
one thing.
seconds.
They had to move through parts
don't
of the
have
station
seconds.
no
He's
one
almost
important
here.
liked using. Lower cargo tunnels. He gave Asha a hooded work coat and a small utility bag. Together, they slipped out through a service hatch on the far side of the dock and entered the maintenance tunnels under Freight
If we
Sector
stop
3.
now, everything will be buried.
The station below the
We are
public
not
decks was a
stopping.
different world. Dim strip lights, leaking pipes, cargo lifts, old vent fans, and workers who looked too tired to care who passed them. Asha stayed close but no longer moved like someone waiting to be dragged away. She carried the data shard herself now. As they crossed an old transit underbridge, they passed a side holding lane where several other contract laborers waited behind barrier rails. Some
It's
were
bigger
bound
than
by
we
debt
thought.
slates. Some
They're
wore collar
diverting the relief
tags.
shipments,
One
starving
young
the poor
alien
sectors
woman sat
just
wrapped
to
in a
drive
thin
up the
blanket.
market.
eyes empty in the same way Asha's had
This
looked in the
shard,
market.
it has everything.
Asha stopped
We
walking.
can finally expose
Elias
them
followed
all.
her gaze. That was me, she said quietly. Every day,
Don't be
for
afraid.
them, for all of them.
Why are you doing this?
Something changed in her
You're
face
safe
then.
now.
Not fear disappearing,
What made
but
them call
purpose
you
growing
defective?
larger than it.
I refused.
They reached an old cargo relay office where Elias hoped to contact an independent station advocate. But the terminal was already locked under prefect control. Core's network had moved faster than expected. Asha studied the dark screen, then looked toward the overhead freight grid. "We do not need their court first," she said. "We need witnesses." Elias understood. If
Harbor
official
light is
rooms were
compromised.
closed, they needed
We
public
move now.
space. They headed for the Central Freight Exchange, where cargo announcements
case
were
is bigger
broadcast
than one
nationwide to
market.
merchants, dock workers, and transport crews.
It was always bigger.
It was not elegant, but it was loud. Before they reached it, Dral's enforcers cut off the main
Your
passage.
defiance is admirable,
Elias pulled
but
Asha into
ultimately
a side
futile.
conveyor tunnel.
The
The
alien
chase
comes
through the
with
lower
me.
station became tight and breathless.
Enough
across
running.
moving crate belts, through lift cages, and along service bridges lit only by maintenance strips. At last they reached the
You
service
risk
corridor
so
beneath the
much
station
over
court
discarded
annex.
stock.
Ahead lay the
Your
freight
habit of
broadcast
calling
hub.
people stock is
Behind
the
them,
real problem.
boot steps were closing in. Asha
What
held
is
the shard
going on
tightly
up
and
there?
looked at Elias. If we stop now,
I
they
don't know.
bury
Sounds
everything.
bad. Are those the command
Elias
staff?
checked the sealed hub door.
The freight hub is
then
a
listened
public
to the
zone,
enforcers
and no
nearing the
private
turn.
seizure happens there.
"We're not stopping," he said. But the next door opened from the other side, and Overseer Core was already there waiting. Core stood in the freight broadcast hub doorway with two enforcers, and all the calm of a man certain the game was over. "Enough running," he said. Asha stepped back, but Elias moved slightly in front of her without thinking. The
We
small
are now
gesture did
live
not go
across the
unnoticed.
sector's main
Core's
cargo
eyes
channels.
narrowed. "You
What
risk
you are
much for
about to
discarded
see
stock,
will
human,"
change
Elias
everything.
answered flatly. "You keep calling people stock, that's your problem." Core signaled the enforcers forward. Then something unexpected happened. From the side maintenance ladders,
My name is
3
Asha.
cargo workers appeared.
I was sold after
Then 2
discovering
dock
these
welders,
false contracts
then an
and
old
stolen
lift operator
shipments.
Elias knew by face, if not by name.
Tell them.
They had heard enough through the open freight channels to understand trouble was
Members
happening.
of the council,
Workers in stations
We are
listened
at a
when one of their own
crossroads.
was cornered.
these logs,
public zone,
combined with the
one welder
biometric
said.
data and the official
No private
seals
seizure
now
here.
displayed,
Core
confirm the
hesitated.
truth of my
That was all
statement beyond
Elias
any
needed.
doubt.
He shoved the emergency override, opened the broadcast room, and pulled Asha inside. The workers blocked the corridor for precious seconds. Elias sealed the door and patched the room systems into the main freight announcement net. Screens came alive, microphones lit. Cargo routes, merchant
The
docks, and
broadcast
worker
mentioned the
terminals across
Tiberius
the
run.
station
Those
received a
ships
sudden
vanished.
live feed.
They are using us
Asha
as
froze
labor.
for only a moment. Then Elias placed the shard into the broadcast reader. "Tell them," he said. Her first words were quiet, but clear. She spoke of false contracts, missing relief shipments.
Asha
People
is
turned into
nothing.
entries. Entries turned into sales, and truth buried under paperwork. She gave names, shipment codes,
Core only
and
needed
official
everyone
seals.
else to believe Asha
As the
was
shard
nothing.
data projected behind her, station workers across dozens of sectors could see it all. Not rumor.
The sirens mean the
records,
council is
not pain
watching,
alone.
Core. Your
Proof.
secret war is
Outside,
over.
Core's people
This
tried
is
to
merely
force
a
the broadcast
setback.
room,
I will
but
deal
the
with you
cargo
both
workers
later.
held them back.
Stop, Core!
More
Don't
station
do it!
staff began arriving, drawn by the live feed. Some recognized seals, some recognized missing names. Anger spread faster
I've
than
made
fear.
my decision.
Then Core
The
himself
fleet
smashed
must be
the outer
notified
emergency glass and
immediately.
entered the room
We
through
are
the
out of
side
time.
access. He raised a shock baton toward Asha. Before he could reach her, Elias stepped between them. Core snarled, "She is nothing." Elias answered, "No, you just needed everyone else to believe that." Station security sirens suddenly sounded from every corridor. This time they were not coming to help Core. They were coming because the whole station had seen too much. But Core, desperate now, lunged one final step toward Asha. And Elias had only 1 second to stop him.
silenced.
Elias caught Core's wrist before the shock baton struck. The impact threw both men against the broadcast console. The baton clattered across the floor. Core was stronger, but Elias fought like a
I
cargo
want everyone
mechanic,
listening
close,
on this
practical,
station
and stubborn.
feed to know the truth.
He slammed Core into the side
His
rail,
name
buying
is
enough time
Core.
for one of the arriving workers to kick the weapon away.
These are the
Asha
account
did not run.
numbers.
Instead, she
Seven
grabbed the live
Delta
mic
4,
again and spoke
shipment
Core's
code
name
active
clearly
now.
into the station feed.
And here,
She called out his
I
shipment
repeat,
codes,
the
his
criminal
false
is
account
Valerius.
numbers, and the prefect
Valerius?
seal linked
I
to the
knew it.
market network.
They can't cover
On
this
screens
up
all
now.
across the station, the evidence continued rolling.
By whose
The lie was
authority
too
do you
public now
enter
to
this
hide.
broadcast room?
Station security burst
This
into the
is a
room.
restricted area.
With them came independent dock marshals
This
and
evidence
two legal
confirms the
auditors
breach. It's
who had
massive.
already received copied data
Core
packets from
isn't
the
just
freight net.
intimidating us. He's losing the
Core
network.
tried to claim
we
authority,
need to move.
but no one listened.
How dare you bring
Even
this
Drow
farce
backed
before
away
the
when he
council?
saw the auditor
Drow,
seals.
step forward!
Within
What are you
minutes,
doing?
the corridor outside
Traitor!
the hub was full of witnesses. Workers, merchants, pilots, people who had spent years looking away from market cruelty because looking felt dangerous. Now they were looking, and once they saw, they could not unsee. The market network collapsed quickly after that. Frozen accounts, sealed auction lanes, contract records seized, relief theft opened for criminal review. The station prefect connected to the scheme was detained before the cycle ended.
The transfer is
But for
complete.
Asha,
All
the biggest
data
change was
secured.
not legal.
The false
was personal.
contracts are isolated and flagged
Several
for
days
review.
later, she stood inside the harbor light wearing a simple, clean tunic, fitted station trousers, and a light work jacket Elias had found in a supply crate. Her white-silver hair was brushed neatly now. Her eyes still held sorrow, but no longer constant fear. The official release document sat on the table between them. No contract, no ownership, no claim. Only freedom. Asha looked at the page for a long time. Then she looked at Elias.
What happens now?
What happens now?
That part belongs
He
to
gave
her.
a small shrug. That part is yours. She glanced around the ship.
This here is the
tiny
spare bunk.
kitchen, the
You can
repair
use it if
bench,
you need it.
the humming engine
There's
wall.
no price, no debt,
It was not
no
grand,
conditions. It's
But it
yours
was
for as
honest.
long as you need.
Elias cleared his throat awkwardly. If you need a place for a while, the spare bunk is still yours. No price, no debt, no conditions.
I've
Asha's
thought about
silver
it,
eyes softened.
and I've decided I
All
want to
her
stay.
life, others had chosen for her, sold for her,
We'd be glad to have
named
you,
her
Asha.
value, defined her place. This time she answered for herself. I would like to stay, she said. Elias smiled. He had not bought her. He had only refused to walk past. But sometimes that was where a new life began.